What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. If you're seeing this from a different perspective, don't adjust your camera. This is the look I wanted for today's video. I'm actually paying homage to a guy I watch. He has a channel. It's a car-based YouTube channel. It's called It's Just a Six, and he actually does every one of his videos in first person. He has a cammed out Camaro SS, and he does a lot of street racing and stuff like that, but it's actually pretty neat to see his perspective because he does everything first person. You don't really ever get to see his face. I don't know if he ever showed his face or not, but so anyways, today's video is just that. He did a video that kind of inspired me. So let me see here. What I did was I posted a question on top of my Instagram page, and then I raised it to you guys for you guys to ask me questions, and I'm going to answer those questions in this video. So I think it's going to be pretty neat. One of the first questions I have is from Sinister Shelby. If someone offered you all the money you have put into your Explorer, would you sell it? If so, what would you buy next? I don't really know what this question means. I read it a few times. What I think he means is, if somebody just gave me a shit ton of money for my Explorer, would I sell it? Yes, I'd sell it. And if so, what would you buy next? That is a difficult question. If I sold the Explorer, I definitely would need another SUV. I would probably, in replacement of this, if, like I said in one of my past videos, if it's 2020 and the new Explorer was just that much better, I would buy another Explorer. If not, I would actually get a Durango SRT. I think that Durango is pretty nice. I would probably get that over a lot of vehicles. I've looked at Audi SQ5s, Q5Ss, I mean. I've looked at Audi Q5Ss. I really like that vehicle. I would still probably get the Durango over that, but yeah, it's definitely something worth thinking about. So Zach Wood 405 said, what's your favorite car, brand, and what car? I'm a mechanic by trade. I grew up working on vehicles. I've driven pretty much everything. I've owned pretty much everything. I don't have a brand that I'm stuck with. I would drive anything, and I will drive anything. I always grew up fascinated about Chevy Corvettes. So are they my favorite car? I would probably lean towards Mustangs. I really like the Chevy Corvette. They're doing a lot of great things. So I'd probably have to say that was my favorite car. I would drive more Mustangs in my future just because they're more practical than a Corvette, especially in my area. I don't know if you're seeing this when I'm driving through. Not that I would drive it in the winter, but it's 8 degrees out. It's snowy here. The roads are real windy. 2-lane for days. Takes me forever to get places. A Corvette would scrape every time I turned into a business or somebody's driveway. So really, I mean, a Mustang's a little bit more practical. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I like a lot of cars. Corvette's what started my fascination for automobiles. It's just I've owned a Corvette. It's just I've owned more Mustangs. Shift Up 317 says, would you get another Mustang? Yes, I would get another Mustang. Going Gonzo, Mike Cato Life. Well, actually, he yelled at me. He says I pronounce it wrong. Mike Cato Life. So anyways, yes, I have a question. Do they ever give you a ticket for parking on the sidewalk? Well, where I live, I actually have a 2-car garage. I don't park in there because the Explorer barely fits in there. So I park out in front of my house. My wife parks in the garage because she has a smaller vehicle. So I usually park out in front of the house. I could park in front of the garage doors if I really wanted. I just don't. It's easier for me to go in and out of the front of the house. So when I do park in front of the house, I usually pull up on the curb a little bit just to get out of the way. Right next to my house, there's a paper factory, and there's truck traffic going in front of my house all the time, and it actually just helps create more room in the roadway for when the trucks are going through and people are trying to walk around and stuff like that. So, do they ever give me a ticket? No, nobody bothers me about ticket. The cops in Old Forge are pretty lenient. They don't really get on you about dumb shit. What was the worst car you ever owned? The worst car I ever owned, Donison 707 asked that question. The worst car I ever owned is actually probably the first car I've ever owned. At the time, I really liked it because it was my first car. I didn't know how much of a piece of shit it was until I started driving it and had to work on it, and then later when it started breaking, I'm kind of glad I wrecked it. But the worst car I ever owned, again, was my first car. It was a Chevy Beretta. I believe it was an 87 or an 88 Chevy Beretta. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. I make now probably 8 or 9 times what my parents combined made back then when I was growing up. So I didn't have a lot of money, and my parents didn't have a lot of money, so we always got hand-me-downs for our first cars. So my first car was a Chevy Beretta. My mom, it was a 5-speed. My mom took me out to a local grocery store parking lot after it was closed, and you know, the 20-minute drive there, she pulled her over in the parking lot. We switched spots. I learned how to drive a stick in that parking lot, and when it was all over, she said, if you can get us home, you can have it. So that was my first car. I kind of liked it for the time because it was my first car. It was the first time I was able to have a little bit of freedom, get out of the house, and it was cool because it was a 5-speed, and I would ride around burning out all the time and doing dumb shit. But it wasn't fast. And then she had already hit a deer with it. So it was banged up. One of the headlights pointed up in the sky, one of them pointed down on the road. It was definitely a unique vehicle. It was all rusted out, and it was like gray, but the paint was chipping. And fast forward, I probably had that car a year, and I ended up wrecking it. I wrecked that car swerving to miss a deer. So that was another life lesson I learned. The deer walked away unscathed. I put that car into a telephone pole, sheared the telephone pole off. I got life lighted. I will never swerve for animals again. So let's see here. What car do you plan on buying next? That is a big discussion I really didn't want to talk about because I wanted to wait to buy a car for the channel after I reach 2,000 subscribers. Not because I don't love you guys, not because you guys don't want to see something great. I just feel that I wanted to make sure YouTube was working. I wanted to make sure you guys were interested in what I was filming, because I'm gonna still film. It's just I wanted to see more interest in the channel before I made a big purchase, because I am going to make a big purchase. So what I'll do is I'll leak a picture of the car that I'm going to buy right now. Okay, that's all you get. I am going to buy a car. It will be in the near future. It will be a rocket. It will be competing with the 1,000 horsepower Hellcats that are out there. Paul from Family Cruisin'. Paul from Family Cruisin'. I got something for you, buddy. That car will smoke your Hellcat. So anyways, yes, I want to thank everybody for participating in this little challenge. I'll do these more in the future. I want to thank everybody who asked me a question. If I didn't, hold on, let me see here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give the name of the person. So Ozo Lou asked, what car do you plan on buying next? Sorry for that. I wanted to give everybody credit for participating, but yes, tune into my Instagram. I always if I don't give like sneak peeks towards the upcoming videos, I always do things outside of the YouTube channel that are usually fan base interactive. If you guys follow me, then I usually I'm more interactive, where I talk to you and stuff like that. The other day I had let's see here, I had raised a question. I asked you guys to submit temperatures inside your vehicle. So you had to be inside your vehicle, and I wanted to see the coldest temperatures. As you can see on my dash, it is 9 degrees today. Nina, she actually submitted a photo where it was -2, and then I got this. It's a photo from somebody that is subscribed to me. They sent this in, and he took a picture with -16 degrees Fahrenheit. That is freaking cold. So I want to thank everybody for participating. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the YouTube channel. Make sure you go on to the YouTube Pack website, youtubepack.com. If you have any questions on what we're going to be doing, if you guys want to check out our merchandise, there's links to every one of the members' YouTube Pack stores. And we got Motorama coming up, guys. Stay excited for that, and I will see you next time.